What's going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes, and this video is about two very important updates, breaking news, as they like to say on Twitter, or breaking, and it's surrounding crypto and Bitcoin specifically. So I just want to get right into the content here. So first things first is NASDAQ reportedly preparing crypto custody services for institutions. It's a lot of words there. Basically, a very well-established, well-respected entity like the NASDAQ is preparing to allow big institutions to hold their crypto assets within them. So they will kind of custody it for all of these institutions. One of the biggest hurdles or barriers for institutions is where do they hold any crypto that they do buy, like the safety concern, the trust concern, which is funny because crypto is all about being somewhat trustless. Especially when you're talking about Bitcoin, it's all about being trustless and managing your own assets. I mean, we're talking about numbers that are well above any of our tiers, or majority of us anyway. And so trust really becomes a factor in who controls it and who's safekeeping it or safeguarding it for them. But also at the same time, it's who can give them access to it quickly and from a respected point of view. Like there's no, NASDAQ is not about to collapse and go out of business and take all of its assets with it. So at least there's a very rare chance that ever happens, right? So why this is big is because, well, one, NASDAQ's now going to be in direct competition with the likes of Coinbase. So what that does with Coinbase or Gemini's or other crypto institutions that were custody based or had components where large corporations or entities could hold through them or buy through them. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the NASDAQ here. Are they only allowing you to custody it? Or are they going to allow you to buy through it and swap through it? I mean, I imagine they will, because it doesn't make sense just to custody only. There are fees to be made and services to give outside of that. So it'd be interesting to see what this when it all unfolds, what actually it entails. But this is big. This is big. I mean, for institutions sitting on their hands but wanting to get in, there is not a more safer, more comfortable push than, hey, look, we're the NASDAQ. We're going to actually custody your crypto assets, so no problem. Go ahead, buy them, purchase them, and then we're going to hold them tight for you. I mean, this is big. This is big, okay? And the second one is, I mean, this guy never stops. So Michael Saylor, former CEO of MicroStrategy, still chairman of the board, goes ahead and now through MicroStrategy, they've bought $6 million worth of Bitcoin, and they now hold 130,000 Bitcoin. 130,000 Bitcoin. I talk a lot about on this channel about dollar cost averaging. So what that means is you buy a little bit today, and if you buy a little bit next week, next month, every 2 months, there's a set schedule for certain times, or when the market dips, you buy some more, and that's just dollar cost averaging. So traditionally, that's the winning strategy. You win out. You're not worried so much about market fluctuations. You're just consistently buying, and over the time, the price point that you buy in is much better than those who kind of waiting to pull the trigger. They get caught in FOMO or fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD. They get caught in that, and so things kind of go haywire. But when you just have a set strategy of your dollar cost averaging at certain times, it plays out, right? So this Michael Saylor dollar cost average at a totally different level. The game is very, very different for him. And what do I mean by that? Is so this $6 million he purchased at 19,000. The average price was 19,850. So just under 19,900 or under 20,000. But the total purchase for all of its Bitcoin, MicroStrategies here, is $3.98 billion, almost $4 billion. Okay, and the average price, check this out though. The average purchase price of almost $4 billion is a Bitcoin price of just under $31,000 per Bitcoin. Okay, So let's put this into perspective here. Okay. So again, 6 million now holds 130,000, and the total or the average price of the entire 130,000 Bitcoin that he owns is just under 31,000. Okay. So why is this important? Right now, Bitcoin sits, I mean, it's hovering anywhere from 18,600 to, just over 20,000. It's kind of where it's hovering. May even go up to 22,000 and kind of fluctuates in there. But think about this. $4 billion worth of Bitcoin, and his average price point is $10,000, $12,000 higher than where it is today. Okay? I really want that to sink in. This man is purchasing through an entity, a public company, this amount of Bitcoin, and his price point is still $10,000 to $12,000 higher than where it sits today. Okay? Like, Bitcoin is so undervalued in my opinion. It's not even funny. All right? And yet we're sitting here, those who said, "Hey, I'll buy when it hits 20,000," when we're up in the 50s and 60,000s, now we're sitting here saying, "Hey, look, when it goes to 12,000 or 15,000, that's when I'll buy." You guys, you got to be careful. I mean, you got to be careful in general, but when you're sitting here making price projections and then it hits those price projections, then you go make those price projections even lower before you ever enter, you may miss the boat. You may. Now, it could go to 12,000, it could go to 15, but what is the chance? What are the chances that when it does go there, you don't sit there and then say, "Hey, well, now it's 12,000 or 15,000. I'll wait till it goes down to 7,000." And then it goes to 7,000. I'll wait till it goes to 3. Like, it's a losing strategy if you're not pulling the trigger, so to speak. So if we're sitting here at 18 and you think it's going to go to 15, in the long haul, the $3,000 difference, it's not going to do anything. In my opinion, we're looking at 6-7 figures worth of one single Bitcoin. That's what it's going to be worth. Do I care if it's 20,000 or 18,000 or 22,000? No, I don't. I even bought a little bit when it was 61,000. I still think that was undervalued then. So these are two really big news stories that may not get a lot of headlines, especially with the markets being what they are. Stock markets are crashed. Bitcoin and crypto are down heavy. And so this stuff doesn't even register. You're like, so what if the NASDAQ custodies? I mean, it doesn't even make any sense, but it's big for major players, big for institutions. Michael Saylor, there he goes buying again. What's the big deal? The average price point is still $12,000 higher than what it is today. These people are very knowledgeable. They understand finances. They understand financial wealth and freedom. And it's important that we look at what they're doing versus what is being said. And if he's buying 6 million, now that doesn't mean you do everything that he says, but it's a good indication that you should do your own research and understand maybe why he's buying what he's buying. Not just him, Jim Miller, George Soros. I mean, you name it, right? Stanley Druckenmiller. There's a whole plethora of uber wealthy. Ray Dalio's another one. That they're doing these things, and you got to question, why are they doing them? And maybe, just maybe, it's something that you should look into yourself. So I wanted to share these two pieces of news with you guys. Hope you found value in the video. If you did, smash the like button. That would really help out. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.